pretty intimidating pretty quickly. And he told the story. He said, well, the Beatles are a really good example of sort of modern attempts to blend two different cultures. So you take Norwegian wood, and they'd gone to India and they took the sitar, but what they presented was a very sort of British colonized version of Indian culture. So this very proper presentation of the sitar in what is basically a fairly artificial environment, and one in which most Indian people wouldn't have found themselves, in that it was, complete silence and a sort of Western approach to a concert. And so they did this, but it was completely new at the time, right? This blend of two completely different genres, but you can really sort of split out the Indian influence and the British or American rock influence, right? They're fairly clear if you know the song, you listen to it, the sitar sort of comes in, but then it remains pretty much classic rock sort of structure. Then came along another band. The band was made up from the sons of immigrants to Britain. They were Indian immigrants, and at the time, a lot of Indian immigrants ran the corner shops in Britain, right? They ran if you're from Quebec, you know the dépanneurs, or our 7-Elevens here, right? They ran these small corner shops, and the sons of some of these first immigrants got together and made a band, and they called their band The Corner Shop, as a tip of the hat to this heritage. And they covered the Beatles' cover of Norwegian Wood. But what they did was bring in the elements of Indian culture that they were familiar with. So you've got the sitar playing, but the context is a busy, noisy Indian restaurant where you hear people eating in the background, and you don't have all of this dedicated attention just to the artists. And if you listen to that, so I strongly recommend you go out and listen to the Beatles' Norwegian Wood, and then listen to the Corner Shop's cover of Norwegian Wood to hear the difference. And it's just an absolutely fascinating shift in the way the music is blended. And so he gave the Corner Shop as an example of what we call a postmodern blend of the elements, because it's not so easy to distinguish. They really played with the barriers in the genre and the cultural influences, and you can't really just say, oh, that part's the Indian part and that part is the British part, especially because they were legitimate inheritors of both sides of those cultures, both the British and the Indian heritage. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is because it's particularly opposite to this next group, because we've heard throat singing at the festival before. This is not new to us at the festival, but this next group does something really magical where I think they have really reimagined and renegotiated the boundaries of the genre in a really postmodern spirit, in this spirit which is really about looking back on things that exist and not just rejecting them, saying, I'm going to try and make something completely new. Which can be naive, because it's very hard to create something that doesn't have any influence from anywhere else. I would say it's impossible. But instead looks back and says, what do we love about this? What is it that is still relevant, and how can we build on it? And so what I think they've very successfully done is built on a very solid foundation of many generations of music, and now blended that traditional music with some Western elements to make something that, if you listen carefully, I personally was not able to say, oh, that's traditional throat singing, that's Western music, and it creates something so much more magical. So, with all of that said, please give a very, very warm welcome to Hun Hurtu.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I'd like to just introduce a little bit about our group. We came from Lietuva. It's our country. We are musicians, throat singers. Our songs, of course, about our still nomad style life. We are still nomads. We have many stories, many songs about the horse. It's one of the parts of our family, our life. First song, we are called it Mörgul, which means prayer. Usually men go to the top of mountain and start to sing about the eternity, blue sky father, about the mother earth. And we are playing straight the second song. We are calling the song Ancestors Call, about, of course, about our ancestors who give it for us. It's our ancient traditional instruments, ancient style of singing.